A former U.S. president, a war-torn land, and a plan so controversial it's sending shockwaves through global politics. Donald Trump has just unveiled his vision for Gaza proposal that could redefine the Middle East or ignite a political firestorm. But is this a masterstroke of diplomacy or a recipe for chaos? Let's break it down. Just when the world thought it had heard every possible solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Donald Trump introduced an idea that stunned even his closest allies. Trump's proposal in a nutshell: U.S. control over Gaza. After the war, Israel would transfer Gaza to U.S. authority. No American troops on the ground. Unlike past interventions, Trump insists there will be no boots on the ground. A global rebuilding effort. The U.S. would coordinate international efforts to restore Gaza, creating what Trump described as one of the greatest and most spectacular developments in history. Palestinian resettlement. Initial remarks suggested Palestinians might be relocated permanently, but later statements walked this back, framing it as a temporary relocation. Contradictions and backtracking Trump's statement has triggered a flurry of confusion, even among his supporters. Trump has always positioned himself as an America First leader, opposed to nation-building and foreign conflicts. So why would he now propose U.S. involvement in one of the most complex geopolitical crises in modern history? Not only is the plan raising eyebrows in Washington, but even Trump's own team has been scrambling to clarify his remarks. When Trump first floated the idea, the White House quickly downplayed his words. Officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, were forced to clarify that the resettlement of Palestinians would not be permanent. The new official stance? A temporary relocation rather than forced displacement. But for many in the Arab world, the damage was already done. Global reaction, a ticking time bomb? The international response was swift. Hamas reaction. Hamas immediately condemned Trump's proposal, calling on Arab nations to resist what they see as U.S. overreach. They urged an urgent Arab summit to address the situation and prevent forced displacement. Israel's position. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has long insisted that the war will only end when Hamas is completely eradicated. However, defense experts argue that achieving this goal is unlikely. If Hamas remains, what role would the U.S. actually play? Arab nations' stance. Many Arab governments fear that Trump's proposal is just a new version of an old idea, removing Palestinians from Gaza to make way for Israeli expansion. Even allies of the U.S. in the region are wary, seeing the plan as unrealistic at best and destabilizing at worst. Palestinian people. Despite the destruction and humanitarian crisis, many Palestinians are rejecting the idea of leaving their homeland. Some see staying as an act of defiance. Even those open to relocation demand guarantees that they can return, something history has denied them before. What happens next? With elections looming in the U.S., Trump's proposal could be as much about politics as it is about policy. Is this about 2024? Some analysts believe this is a strategic move to rally his base. By proposing a solution without committing American troops or money, Trump keeps his isolationist stance intact while making headlines on the world stage. A plan without a path? The biggest unanswered question remains: how would Hamas be removed? From Gaza? If the region remains unstable, who would enforce security? And would Arab nations even agree to be part of this plan? The world watches. The Trump-Gaza plan has injected new uncertainty into an already volatile situation. Whether it's a visionary strategy or political theater, one thing is clear: the world is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher. What do you think? Is Trump's plan a bold solution or a dangerous gamble? Comment below and let's discuss.